So first up, guys, this is a P5000 couple, but it's not always that you see a P5000 couple and this woman, this lady boss is a P2000 in her own right, meaning she's built a P2000 account, even though they've got a P5000 account together. And she's like, yo, I'm hitting P5000 on my damn own self, right? You don't see that all the time. And she holds it and she's like, yo, this is what I'm doing. I'm getting this damn thing done. My account's going chairman, right? And so it's a beautiful thing to see that, right? And so I want you guys to really pay attention. Here's what I'll tell you, because Maddie's probably going to be the one edifying Luke and bringing him up. But here's what I'll say about both of them is what I've seen is, guys, these are people of faith, people of inspiration, people that they've got their stuff together. They're just at a different vibration. And it's why they're having success. It's why they're going chairman. And Maddie, here's what I'll tell you about her. Man, she's serious about her business. She knows what she's talking about, but she's also a lot of fun and she's a great person to be around. And so, guys, I am so happy and grateful that we're growing friendships with other leaders. Please do me a favor and drop some 777s in the chat box for Maddie Hessler.
Hello. Thank you. Thank you so much, Steve. I appreciate you. I'm super excited to chat with you guys today. So we're going to be going over a handful of things, but first and foremost, I think it's super important that everybody here, if you aren't already, gets super comfortable with being more bold on social media, you guys, especially because we are in it, not only a digital age, right? But on top of that, we're kind of going back into another wave of shutdowns, and people aren't going to be able to interact as much at events, at networking, events, at whatever it may be, at coffee shops, like you need to be proactive about building your brand online. And I'm here to tell you that I started building my brand like around 3 years ago. And it has not only helped me in business, but I have met, all the girls that were in my wedding a year and a half ago were women that I met online, and so it can create community. It can create really special relationships, even if you can't see each other every day. And so I'm super excited to walk you guys through this. So first we're going to go over kind of like how to efficiently build your brand. It is not as complicated as it seems. Like, I'm sure you guys, you see these people's social medias and you're like, I don't have a professional photographer, or I don't want to spend money on a professional photographer, and I'm here to tell you it's not that complicated. I'm going to show you guys my Instagram, my Facebook, how I stay consistent on both, how I bring value on both, how I've really tapped into like my niche per se, and what people want to hear and see from me and what I'm willing to give, and how I didn't overcomplicate it. I taught myself everything. I saw a lot of these online influencers, these girls that were like, had all this crazy professional content. And I was just like, gosh, like, I don't know any photographers out here. I don't know how I'm going to get that type of content. And then I was like, I have a freaking iPhone. Takes beautiful pictures. I can edit myself. I can do these things myself. I can do it efficiently. And I can create like the aesthetic that I want. And so first I'm going to share our screen real quick. And here we go. Okay, so first I'm going to show you guys my Facebook.
There you go. Share one time.
Oh.
And then
oh, this one. Perfect. Okay, so this is my Facebook. And you guys, I chose to start off both of my Facebook and my Instagram with like what I stand for, right? Everybody stands for something different. But for me, it's like I am very well known for like my faith and how I'm bold in my faith. And so I always like to tell people, like, I help you break chains in Jesus' name, like I help you like overcome whatever's holding you back, but do it in Jesus' name. That may not be what you stand for. That may not be how you want to introduce yourself. You guys get to decide that, which is the beautiful thing. And so, oh, we're admitting a few people. Okay.
we can see this.
Oh, okay, cool. And so what I started with is that one-liner. Now you guys can do what you want. We have some people on our team that are like recession-proof momentum creator. I know Elaine's, hers is really cool, and it says Wi-Fi money, retired by, I think she said 28, things like that. Things that like are going to pique people's interest, that are going to pique your, just exit out right there. That are going to pique your market's interest, right? Like what, and take note, what do people come to you for? What do friends confide in you for? You know, a lot of my friends come to me for faith. And so I'm like, okay, well, I know they come to me for faith, so how can I tie that in with business? And Steve's wife actually helped me. We had like this really long chat this weekend, and she was like, you know, you're really bold in both. And I was like, oh my gosh, like that just clicked for me, right? So everybody kind of has that thing. Your brand's going to evolve over time. But yeah, I really, on Instagram or on Facebook, it doesn't give you as many characters to build your bio. But when people come to your page, they immediately need to know, what are you about? Right? I keep mine very simple and clean. Obviously I have like this plain background. If you want to have a loud background, you absolutely can, or banner, shall I say. This picture took with my iPhone. I'll show you guys a couple resources that I use through that. But, and those of you that are like, oh, I don't really like to take pictures, get comfortable, because we're in a digital age and there's just no excuse to not like pictures anymore. And yeah, down here, like I was very bold about like what I do. Okay. Like people aren't going to come to my page and not know that I'm not with I am, right? And so here I was able to put, like, I created my own title within I Am Mastery Academy. So I'm a recession-proof momentum creator. And with a lot of people, they saw that when I updated it and they messaged me and they're like, what does it mean to be a recession-proof momentum creator? And I'm like, I'm glad you asked, you know? So all of these little things that we think aren't that big of a deal actually are lead generators. People ask questions, it piques their interest. So yeah, I have this, and I don't know how many of you feel like maybe you've tapped through a lot of your warm market. And you're kind of like, oh, I have nobody left. Or like, and it's like, okay, you guys, I understand that. For one, there is no way that you've tapped through your entire warm market. I'm just going to be bold about that. I thought I did, and then I was very mistaken, because there were a list of people that I was deciding for before I even reached out to them. So don't decide for people. And yeah, so I really have started building very, very strong relationships online, especially on Facebook. People are scrolling on Facebook all day. They're looking at people's statuses, they're commenting on things. And it's just so important that we take advantage of that. This is where people are at. We're going through another wave of shutdowns. People are going to be at home again. We need to utilize these platforms. This is something I actually recently created. I already have 4 leads from it. I just went right down Google Forms. And what you can do through Google Forms is you can literally create questionnaires to pique people's interest, to see what people are interested in. I attach it in my link tree on my Instagram, which I'll show you guys. But here, I just posted this. You know, I got some good comments, but I got more people that just filled it out. You know, it's simple questions. And if you guys can reach out to me on like Facebook or Instagram, and we can connect, and I can send it to you so you can model after it, or you can just snag it from here. But yeah, so I go through, you know, a lot of my posts have to do with what I do with I Am, right? They have to do with being in a recession-proof industry, being bold in my faith and my business, things like that. And so a cool way for me to tap into a new market on Facebook is to go into, you know, accounts that kind of align with what I do, right? Like, I love to encourage women. I'm a female, so Mel Robbins has a page. Jenna Kutcher has a page, and all these girls are commenting on their posts like, oh my gosh, I want to live a life like you. Oh my gosh, you inspire me. I love your posts. So I tap into, okay, what kind of message can I provide people? Now, who are people that are already doing that, right? Because just like in this business, success leaves clues. And so you want to tap into those people and their markets, and the people that are commenting on their posts, on their videos, and being like, you inspire me every single day. I have hope because of you. And you reach out to them and say, hey, I saw that you were in Jenna Kutcher's Facebook group, saw that you commented on her post, just looking to connect with more like-minded people. So tell me more about you. You know, you guys, like, build genuine relationships with these people. Doesn't matter if it takes a little bit longer. Katie actually went over this in our training this weekend. She was like, yeah, it may take a little bit longer, but it's a lot longer to rebuild your team. when people don't stick. And so you want to build genuine relationships with people, not only for this business, but because people need that right now. People are like depressed. They have anxiety. They're scared. They may not have as blessed of a life as you have. And you can add, hope to their life by just saying hello, by just asking them, how are you feeling today? How are you doing? And just building those close relationships. And so next from there, as you guys can see, like I said, I'm very bold about what I do, about what problems I can help people solve, things like that. Next is Instagram. Now, I'm here to just preface, you do not need to be verified. You do not need to have 100,000 followers to be successful. I get less leads from Instagram than I do from my Facebook, just here to be transparent. Because Instagram is more pictures, people look less at words. Facebook is more words, people look less at pictures. But you can benefit from both. So here you can see, obviously, I'm a business and life mentor. I model my bio like how I would model the top of my resume, right? To kind of reflect that job, to reflect what I do. And then I have this link tree. Link tree is so important, you guys. You can include so much in here. You can include your Twitter link. You can include if you have an Amazon store, when you build out your ECX store, you can include the link to your ECX store, right? So when people click on this, I'll just show you guys briefly what it means, what Linktree does. But I have a bunch of different links embedded in this, right? This Be Your Own Boss, babe, is really like my whole brand thing. And that takes people to the questionnaire, where it's literally a work from home application. I have where people can shop my look, shop my Amazon, Twitter, all of those things. And so it's a really good resource to use in your bio if you're like, oh, I have multiple things I want to share with people. Or if you just want to share one link, you can do that too. Be very active on your stories, very active. Even if it makes you super uncomfortable to be in front of the camera, you guys are in network marketing. You are learning new things every day. Your mind is, like Matt Rosa said at convention, it's being stretched and it's never going to go back to its original form, right? And so share with people what you're learning, you guys. Share with people what you're learning. And people need to hear this stuff right now. And people are on social media. And so you're able to give them hope through that and be like, hey, this is what I learned today. Or, I woke up, I was really tired. It was really hard for me to get into my routine. However, I've realized that blah, 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 little pieces of value is still value. And then, so I've created obviously some highlights here that just kind of show people what I'm about. I have my wedding video. I have All Love, which is Jesus quotes and verses and things like that. Testimonials for our business. I have local places. And then I have my BYOB Babe, which is basically goes through everything for I Am. And I always make sure that's at the front of the line because that's the first highlight people are going to click on. And then you go through here, and this is all content I took myself. I took all of this myself, you guys. All of it. And there's an app I use to add the coloring edit, and that's Tezza. So write down Tezza, Tezza. It does wonders. It's very easy, very straight to the point. Don't have to overcomplicate it. And I've done all of these myself. And I'll use Canva if I want to do graphics, things like that. And I'm going to go into here. So one tool that I highly recommend you guys get, because it just makes taking content so much easier. And there's videos on YouTube, you guys. YouTube has freaking everything. You can go on YouTube and you can look up how to take professional content with your iPhone. And they're literally going to show you so many different ways to do that. But on Amazon, there is this, I put it in one of my, content creation. Okay, so there is this, ring light. I highly recommend ring lights. Super important, especially if you're I didn't get to do my video today. It's okay, it's not light out, but I'm still gonna have light. So you can use the ring light. This is key right here. This is a tripod, but it's got a Bluetooth remote. So you can set it up wherever you want in the middle of town. Who cares what people think, by the way, because people are always going to judge you your whole life. And I set it up in town, and I'll literally have like one day a month where I load up on content. I bring multiple outfits, I change in my car, and I go out and I take it, and I do it all myself. And then I edit the photos in Tezza, and then it's good. Because I mean, I don't, it sucks that it's like this, but like at the same time, it's a blessing. So, you know, people really do, when they come to your page, they look at a few different things. They look at your bio, they'll look at your followers, but followers don't even really matter to people. They're more so going to look at the quality of your content. Are you posting a picture of your old plate of food or of your apple, or a really low quality picture of a building? It's just like, it's like, I think of like your resume or your LinkedIn page, right? Like, to relate it back to something like that. Like, it has to be cleaned up. It has to be intentional, because it draws people in. It is a lead generator. Everything that you do on social media is a lead generator. So, yeah, so I hope that helped you guys. If you have any additional questions, as you guys can see, my Instagram is Maddie_Burke. Don't get verified before you get married. Change your name before that, because it's really hard to get your name changed after. But yeah, so just reach out to me on there if you have any questions, if you need any other pointers, and I'd be happy to help you guys. And so now my hubs, he's going to be talking to you guys. He's my mentor. He's not only my husband, he's my mentor. And he's taught me so much about the digital space, because when I met him, I didn't have a brand bill. I didn't know what I was doing. And he really helped me take it to the next level. And, you know, he has such a business mind, right? Now I have more of like that I have a business mind, but I have like the content side of things. I know how to organize that stuff. You know, he's got the business mind. He's got the systems down. He knows how to leverage systems to create more time freedom, because a lot of times we're like, oh, time freedom this, time freedom that, but then we spend our days doing all these things that can just be put into a system. And so he's taught me so much. He's been very, very, very successful in this industry. He's built teams of tens of thousands. And, you know, I'm just very honored to be able to do this with him and alongside him. So
thanks, babe. I appreciate you. And yeah, one big thing I want to touch on is that Maddie said this, but this is important. You know, you see 100,000 followers and verified now, but that's not where Maddie started. You know, she started when I met you 3 years ago, you had like what, 1,000 or something like that, you know, 1,000 followers. And like now over time, it's been built to that, you know? So it's like, it's really important to not compare your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 25, right? That's really, really important. Everybody starts somewhere. That's the key. So focus on what you can control. You know, she talked about how to position your brand in a way that it will be perceived as credible. And that's very important, you know, because when I first started, network marketing, I was a frat rat, you know, like go back into my Facebook and look at what I posted about in, you know, let's say 2011. Okay. It was pathetic, literally pathetic what I'm posting about in 2011. And then if anyone ever went to my page, you know, and like, I'm like talking about business, all they're seeing is pictures of me partying and doing this and doing that. And it's like, why would anyone ever want to do business with me? Right. But then I started to change my perspective. I started to change my mindset, and I was like, wow, what if I could build a brand for myself? What if I could position myself as someone who is a figure of authority, an expert in my industry as an entrepreneur? Then now when people meet me in person, they go to my, you know, Facebook and they check it out. They see alignment with what I'm doing. And so changing that, there's a phrase that you guys should write down. It's this: it's digital perception becomes physical reality. All right. So digital perception becomes physical reality. And that is a fact. Okay. If you want to be a chairman, start presenting yourself as a chairman on social media. Look at all these other chairmen. They have clean pages. They post consistently. They have the cleaned up bio. They have the good profile picture, all of that kind of stuff. It is important, because at the end of the day, everything that I'm going to be teaching you from a system wise, if you don't have trust and credibility with your followers, none of it's going to work, because no one's going to answer your message. No one's going to actually go out there and have a conversation with you. And so what Maddie just touched on is very, 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 very important. And again, remember, it's like the phrase is the best time to plant a tree was 25 years ago, right? The second best time is today, right? So if you've never ever done anything with social media, never started to consider, you know, actually going and building a brand, today is the day to go out there and start doing that.
One side note I want to say, if you guys are looking for like extra tips and stuff, Instagram updated their whole thing. You can look up keywords and search by keywords, or you can search by hashtags. So if you go to your search page, you can type in social media tips, content tips. There are loads of Instagram reels and loads of content that can just guide you through everything, make it super easy.
Yep. And the other thing I'll say too is that what you're building is a brand, and what you're building is a digital asset. Okay. It doesn't matter if in the future, you want to do some other business endeavors. I'm telling you, everything I have done, my brand is like the reason that we were able to go and hit, P5 and I hit P5 in 90 days and she hit, P2 in 90 days was because of the brand. We had built trust with this group of people, with this group of followers. They're like, man, anything Maddie does, I want to do. Anything Luke does, I want to do. But it's not like that happened overnight. This is 7 years of consistency that has gotten that to that point. But now we have a digital asset here where we can provide value to these people in any way that we want, and they're going to be interested in what's going on. So that's really important, what she just touched on. And so now what I want to talk about is I'm going to get into more of the technical side of stuff. So now let's assume that you've got a brand. Let's assume that you're posting consistently. Let's assume that you have a nice bio and things are looking good and all of that kind of stuff. And now let's talk about how can we actually convert that into paying customers for your organization and for your team. And so I'm going to go and share my screen real quick, and I'm going to dive into the system. And most of you guys, I'm going to assume, were on that call originally when I went over the ATM system. And so I'm going to do a brief little overview of this. However, I'm not going to spend a ton of time on it other than the basics. So first and foremost, I just want to say this works. Okay, this system I actually modeled from these individuals right here, John and Nadia Melton. They were the ones who created this ATM system. I spent a significant amount of money learning this from them. They've been clients of mine for social media, and they've built this team of over 200,000 people that are actively paying in their organization every month, and they've never done a home event. They've never done anything like that. All they use is this system. It's really wild. And so that's who I modeled this after, and so I know this works. This isn't theory, okay? And so the first step is add. So it's ATM. And so the first step to that is the add portion of it. And when you are adding people to this group, the key, there's 2 key words, all right? Number 1 key is curiosity, okay? So curiosity is the first key. The second key, all right, the second key is commitment. So that's your only goal. It's the same thing. Don't overcomplicate this. The same principles that it takes to invite people offline to an event are the exact same principles it takes people to invite them online to a group, right? When I invite someone to an event, what am I trying to do? I'm trying to pique their curiosity to want to learn more about what I'm doing, and then I want to get a commitment that they'll actually go out there and check it out, right? And that's all you're doing with this. And so when Maddie's going and showing you these posts that she's making on social media, she's creating curiosity. She's sharing testimonials. She's asking people, hey, have you ever considered, working from home? She's creating questionnaires to get more information. All she's doing is creating curiosity. And then what you do is when you have curiosity, you start having conversations, okay? And I'm going to share with you guys this Trello, and I'm going to do kind of both of these things. So this is what we actually use to track all of these conversations that we're having. So Trello.com, if you guys have this, it's a free app. You can download it. It's very, very good for organization. And this is just like the pipeline that we've created. And I'm going to get through the whole thing here. So you don't have to write all of it down right now, but I'm going to focus on this name and conversation section and then in the invitation, because this is the ad. Okay. So when you think of add an ATM, it's this part: name, conversation, invitation. So this is what the names are. It's just on a list. These are people I want to talk to. So some people write a physical list. I'm a big fan of physical lists as well. However, I also like digital lists. I think the key is that you actually have a list, okay? So that's step number 1, is you make a list and you put it here. So these are people I'm going to talk to about my business. Now, once I start a conversation with them, right, I reach out to Manu and I say, hey, bro, long time no talk. What's new? Now I'm in conversation with these individuals. Remember, our key words was curiosity, right? Curiosity. And the best way to get people interested in you is to be interested in them. Okay, that's the best way to do it. So when I reach out to Manu, I'm not just gonna be like, yo, Manu, what's up, man? Here's what I'm doing. It's amazing. I'm gonna ask him about what he's doing. I'm gonna ask him about what's going on in his life. I want to learn more about him. And really what I'm looking for are these 3 things. I'm looking for where he's at in his life. Like, what is he doing? Where is he at in his life? Number 2, where does he want to be in his life, right? Where does he want to be? What are his goals? What are his dreams? What are his aspirations? And then number 3, what is the barrier? Why is he not at where he wants to be yet? And is there a way for me to solve that challenge, with that, solve that issue, get over that barrier with the group, with the opportunity, with the products, right? And that's really what I'm looking for. So I'm looking to solve a need. You see, these conversations, this is not your hit list. These are not the people that you're going to sign up so you can hit your rank. These are the people that you are going to help. These are the people that you are going to provide a solution for. These are the people that you are going to serve. And when you go into the conversations with that type of energy, the intention to go and help people solve a problem in their life with your business or your opportunity, people will feel that and they will start to understand it. John, he often talks about in his group, he says some people, the number one problem, the reason that they don't succeed in this is they have what's called commission breath, right? It's like right when you're hitting people up, they can smell your commission breath. They can tell the only reason you're contacting them is because you want to get a commission. All right, that's not the right way to do this. The right way to do this is to make a list and know that, hey, all of these people could potentially have a problem that the academy could solve, but I don't know. So what my goal is to figure out if they do, right? That's the goal of the conversation. And then now, if they do have the problem, and I identify that problem, so have meaningful conversations, that's when I move them to the invitation. And there's 2 phrases that you can remember on the invitation. The first one is, if I would you, and I'm sure you guys have heard this a million times, right? If I, could add you to let's say his problem is, money. Okay, he doesn't have enough money. I'm like, okay, well, let me ask you this, bro. If I could show you a way to create an extra, $500 to $1,000 a month, part time, is that something that you'd be open to? And that's a question I could ask him. Maybe his problem is, time, and I say, if I could show you a way to be able to gain more time freedom in my business by building a business online, is that something you'd be open to? Or would you check it out, right? And so if I could solve your problem, would you be open? Would you check it out and be open to looking at it? Okay, so that's the first phrase. And then the second one that I just like is, are you open? Okay, this is honestly the one that I use most. Is like, once I connect with people, I just ask them, I'm like, listen, man, I just joined this this Facebook community of over 10,000 people working together to make money online. It's a private group, but would you be open to to joining it? I think you get a lot of value to it, or would you be open to checking it out? Would you be open? Just ask them if they're open, right? You gotta pop the question, okay? So the intention of this conversation is to create that curiosity, finding the need, and then get a commitment and ask them, would you be open? They're going to say yes or no. And right when I pop the question, and this is what most people do, they wait too long to pop the question. Once you find the need, don't be scared. Now pop the question. It's time to ask them if they'd be open, if I would you, whatever it is. And right when I ask that question, they are immediately moved from the conversation to the invitation section, okay? So right when I think about them, they're here. Right when I start talking to them, they're here. Right when I ask them the question, I invite them, now they're moved to here. So I always know where these people are at in this position, okay? And so this is the add section of this. This is how you add people. The goal, create curiosity, getting a commitment. Maddie talked a lot about how you can attract people, which is really big. And then when you're doing this, go ahead and you can take notes, right? When you figure out what their problem is in their life, say, wants more time freedom, currently working, whatever. And you can, and then I can say the date that I, went out there and talked to these people, right? Let's say, what's the date today? I don't even know the date. What is it? The 21st. Okay. So now I can say, 11-21-20. Now I know when I had my first conversation with them. And then now you have a little bit of a description. And then now you update it here, invited him, invited to the group. Done. Okay. And now I put a date and I'll let them know that. So now whenever I am thinking of Manu, what I can do is I can go back and I can look at that and I can go and check it. And then all my notes for that person is going to be there. Right. And so that's the section of the ad that you're going to see right here. The second section is going to be the tag. So once they say that they're open, right? If I would you and they say yes, okay, that's the commitment part, right? Curiosity and then a commitment. Then what you do is you then add them to that group, and then you ask them this very key question. All right, when you add them to the group, once they accept the invitation, this is very important. You have to ask them, All right, great. I tagged you in a couple relevant videos. When will you be able to watch them? Tonight or tomorrow morning? And always give them the options. Always give them the options of 2 options. Don't just say when are you going to watch them and open-ended. Always give them a multiple choice question. 2 reasons. Number 1 is by choosing one of those, they're making a commitment. If they just say I'm going to get to it, they're not going to actually get to it. It just, people forget, okay? And so make sure you do that. And then number 2, you now know when to follow up with that person. You can put it in your calendar, right? I'm going to follow up with Jack at, tonight, because he said he's going to be able to watch it tonight. And now when I follow up with him, I'm not bugging him. I'm like, hey, bro, I know you said you're going to be able to watch the video tonight. What was your favorite part? What did you like most? And so this is a very, very, very key. And so I will go and move them from the invitation. Remember, they're in the invitation right when I pop the question. And then I move them to the presentation when they give me the commitment of when they are going to watch the video. When they're going to watch the video. And now they're in this presentation mode. And here's the cool thing. So now we're in the tag section, right? For ATM, now we're in tag. Add, now tag. And this is what you're going to do, is you're going to first tag them in this video. Okay, so this is the announcement post. You can find it anytime. Just click on announcements, and it's always going to be the main post. Facebook likes to change their language a lot. Sometimes they used to call this the pinned post, but now it's the announcement post. And so you want to tag them in this because it teaches them the basics of what we're about, and it also tells them the next steps that they need to do to actually go through this this page and be able to navigate it. Second thing you want to tag them in is you want to tag them in the relevant unit. In the conversation, you can ask people when you're talking to them, like, what industry would they be interested in learning more about? Are they more interested in learning trading, or are they more interested in learning e-commerce? And at the end of the day, we don't really care, right? It doesn't really matter to us whether these people love e-commerce or if they love, let's say Forex, or if they love cryptocurrencies, which is booming right now, go crypto. It doesn't really matter, okay? What matters is the fact that we are helping them go and get what they want, okay? That's what matters. And so in these different units, I don't know why my computer's not loading right now, but normally when these things actually load, you'll be able to see all of these different units that come in. And then there's a unit for FRX, and there's a unit for DCX, and my computer's just like tripping right now for some reason. Give me a sec, guys. I don't know what's going down with this. I'm just gonna use yours, maybe. It's just like frozen. Yeah, give me a sec, guys. Sorry, I don't know. My computer's just kind of tripping right now. It's just freezing. There we go. Yeah, I don't know why it's not downloading these units. One sec. Because this is the second thing. You want to tag them in the announcement post, and then you want to tag them in the relevant unit. And I want to show you guys these if the computer will want to load. There we go. Yeah, I don't know why it was taking so long. But anyway, so you can see here, you have Forex, Ecom, crypto, binary options, and then affiliate marketing. This is the compensation plan on it. And so what you do is, let's say they're interested in Forex, then you click on this unit, and then there is long form copy that breaks down the details of Forex, and then also a quick video that they can go and watch. And so all you would do is tag them in this. Then you can see, hundreds of people have already done that. And you just say, check this out, watch this, whatever it may go out there and be. And so now you've tagged them in the announcement post, the basic understanding of the group. Now you've tagged them in a unit or 2, sometimes maybe 2 units if they're interested in both of them, so that now they understand the basics of that particular academy and how they can learn that skill to be able to earn income online. And then the third piece that you want to go out there and tag people in is going to be in the testimonials. And this is a key point, because the testimonials are really going to be what helps people make a decision, okay? Because social proof, there's a saying that facts tell and stories sell, right? So what we're doing with the units is we're telling, all right? We're telling them, we're getting the logical side of their brain. But now what we're doing with these testimonials is we are selling them. And the stories are going to sell. You don't even have to do any of the selling. The stories go out there and tell. Boom. Here's a testimonial about the e-com store and how much success they're going out there and having. Boom. Here's a testimonial about about them going out there and winning in HFX, and 1 month training consistently. I'm proud to say I'm no longer working 9 to 5, and it's empowering. Congratulations, that's amazing. Like these stories in here are absolutely phenomenal. This is the compounding calculator. This will blow people's mind. They don't know what compound interest is. HFX testimonial, again, 4-0. And all this is showing people is that it works, it works, it works, it works, it works. In another way, if you have someone who's interested in a particular thing, if you want to pick a topic, you can click FRX testimonials, and then what will happen is it will sort through all of the testimonials in this group, and boom, here are all the 4X testimonials that you can go out there and see for this particular academy. Okay, so this is extremely, extremely powerful. So when you're doing this tag section, it's first tagging the announcement, then tagging the unit, then tagging a relevant testimonial. And I encourage you guys to tag people at least once every 48 hours, okay? More if you can, once a day, because these stories are coming in all the time. So it's like, don't just tag them in one testimonial and be like, oh, I'm done, okay? Like, that's not how it works. Keep tagging them in new testimonials, because guess what? Now that you've tagged them in those units, they've seen the presentation. Guess what the follow-up is? The follow-up is going to be following up with them by continuing to tag them in testimonials that they would resonate with, they would relate with, and then it's actually going there and shooting them a message, okay? And this is going to be the final part that we talk about today, which is the M, or the message section of ATM. So now after someone is in this group, they have gone out there and seen the testimonials, they've watched the videos, you're following up with them at the time you said you would, right? Because they told you, oh, I can watch it tonight, or they say, oh, I can watch it tomorrow morning. So you follow up. You say, hey, I know you said you were going to be able to watch the video by tonight. Just wanted to follow up with you, and I'm curious, what's your favorite part? What did you like most about what you first saw, or what you saw? And that is my favorite opening question to message people with. It works, okay? What did you like most? Because now I know what interests them, okay? Like, don't ask them what do they think, because people are programmed negatively. Again, these are same principles that work offline, work online. Principles never change, okay? Principles never change. It's just little strategies, techniques can improve and can change with technology, right? So these principles are the same. So follow up with someone immediately. Do not forget about them. You got to strike while the iron's hot, right? And you follow up with them and you say, what did you like most? And then they're going to tell you something, okay? And this is the process I always follow when I'm following up with someone. I say, what did you like most, number one? Then they tell me something, I validate that. Oh, I like the time freedom. I like the financial freedom. I like the fact that, there's a community and there's positivity, or whatever it is, right? What did you like most? They tell me that, I'm like, oh my gosh, I agree. And I validate that. Second, I ask them, on a scale of 1 to 10, how ready are you to get started? And I wait to hear what they say, and they will tell me a number. They'll tell me either a 1 or a 2 or 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If they tell me a 1, I'm saying, okay, great. Thank you so much. Because guess what my goal is, right? With this follow-up is to collect a decision. I don't care if they say yes or no. I just got to figure out if they're a yes or a no. So if they say 1, that's a no. And I say, all right, great, no worries. Do you mind if I keep you updated with my success? And guess what? They're already in the group. So guess what? Even if they say no, they're going to be getting updated by the success, because people are going to be posting until they actually go out there and decide to leave the group, which they can do at any time, obviously. No one's forcing them to stay in the group. And so then if they give you a 10, you help them get started right there, because that's a decision number. But if they give you anything between a 2 and an 8, then what you want to do is you want to ask them the question, what's holding you back from being a 10? Okay, what's holding you back from being a 10? And they're going to give you a reason. It's usually the time. It's usually the money. It's usually like, I don't believe it yet. I think it's a pyramid scheme, like whatever it is, right? They're going to have probably objections, and it's important to remember that on average, it takes people, 4 to 6 exposures to actually make a decision, right? Like, that's a normal thing. So if someone says they're not a 10 in the beginning, like, that's normal. This is expected. Again, the offline principles apply online. This isn't a magic bullet. All right, this is just something that can give you a little bit more leverage, okay? And so they give you a different number, and then you ask why. Oh, I'm an 8, because of the time, okay? And the thing you want to do is, this is when you implement feel, felt, found. Oh, I feel you, I felt the same way, but I found this. And then you can tell them a story, or you can tell them the conclusion that you found that everybody's already using, on their phones. And when someone says time for me, I say, oh, I feel you the same. I feel you. I actually felt that same way. I had businesses going on, other things. I just got married. I didn't think I had the time of this. But then, you know, I started thinking, I was like, man, what's my screen time every day? And I started looking at my screen time. And I encourage you, look on your phone right now. What's your screen time right now? Then have them look on their phone. You know, the average millennial screen time is 5.7 hours a day. Okay, a day. And if they don't have a business online, literally they're wasting their life away. Okay, like seriously, like if you are online on social media and you don't have a business, you're just wasting time. Okay, that's what you're doing. And so now I'm showing them how, guess what? You actually do have time. So again, feel, felt, found. I do that for everything, and I attempt to go for the close after that. If they're still not ready, if they're still not ready to get started with this thing yet, if they're still not ready with that, then all you do is you move them to the next exposure. Then what I move into is I edify my upline, get them on a 3-way call, get them to one of the intro to digital entrepreneurship calls, get them on one of our Trading Tuesday calls. The key is you have to move them from exposure to exposure to exposure, because what you'll see here is that there is this presentation and follow-up, and there's kind of like a loop that happens here, where if I'm following up with someone and I say, hey, on a scale of 1 to 10, how ready are you to get started? They give me a 5. They're not ready to get started. What do I have to do? Is I bam, from a meeting, book a meeting, right? These are principles of network marketing that work offline and online. So I book the next exposure, whether that exposure is a 3-way call, an intro to digital entrepreneurship call, a Trading Tuesday call. It doesn't matter. But what matters is that you book the next exposure. And then what you're going to do is from each exposure, you're then going to ask them the same questions. All right. And you're going to figure out how until they get a decision. And there's a loop, right? From a follow-up to a presentation and a follow-up to a presentation and a follow-up to a presentation until eventually someone says yes. Think about you guys. Some of you, maybe you signed up the very first time. It took me 4 years. Okay, I said no to this for 4 years, and then I said yes. And so this follow-up presentation loop happened for a long time. But then I said yes, and in 90 days, I built a P5 organization. Do you think it was worth it to have that follow-up for that long? Yes, it is worth it. Okay, yes, it is worth it. And so eventually, what they're going to tell you is yes or no. And if they say yes, I put them in the decision thing and they're green. If they say no, I put them in the decision thing and they're red. And if they say yes, but not right now, I put them down here, okay? And I put them in yellow. And this is a big thing, is there's a difference between a decision and an enrollment, right? How many people do we know that say yes, but they don't actually sign up? Okay, so that's why I have these people in my decision box. And then once they actually enroll, I move them over here, okay? And so literally, all my job is to move people through the Trello. Okay, I make money by moving people through this freaking Trello and getting them to this side. That's my goal, is get as many people from this side of the Trello to the other side of the Trello, because this is a pipeline. This is a sales pipeline. This is a sales pipeline in any industry. Okay, this is how sales works. The name, you have the list, you start having a conversation with them, try and find the need. You know, hey, you open to checking out, this group. If they say yes, you tag them in the videos, then you tag them in the testimonials, and now you follow up with them. Hey, what was your favorite part on a scale of 1 to 10? What's holding you back from being a 10? Feel, felt, found. Okay, if they're not ready yet, I set up the next presentation, get them on an intro call, get them on a 3-way call, whatever it may be, until they give me a decision where they say yes or no. And then once they say yes or no, I enroll them. And the secret is you going through this and then duplicating within your team. Because just think of some of these numbers. Imagine, and I'm going to make these numbers be very, very conservative. Okay, I have found for me about, out of all the people I've added to this group, I've probably added, 200 people or so, 220 people. And I have currently 64 enrollments. Okay. So, you do the math, it's pretty, what is that? Like 20%, right? About 20%. So let's say you're not as good. That doesn't work as well for you. And you get 10%. 10% of the people that you add to the group enroll in this. So get this. If you just added one person per day, just imagine that was your daily. It's just adding one person per day to this page. And then you tag them in the right thing and you follow the process, right? If you just do that, adding one person per day, at the end of the month, you will have over 30 people that you've added to that group, right? 30 days in a month. So if you just did that, that would be 3 enrollments every single month, but it's adding one person per day if you commit that system. 3 enrollments per month. Now imagine you have 10 people on your team that are doing that exact same thing. That's 30 new enrollments that are happening every single month, that are happening within your organization. And now imagine you didn't just add 1 person per day. What if you added 5 per day? What if you added 10 people per day? What if you added freaking 50? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no limits to what you can go and do with this. There are billions of people on social media. Billions with a B, okay? And this is the most unstable economy that we have ever seen in our lifetime. People are losing their jobs. People are scared. People don't know what to do. And you have a solution for them. People are going to bed praying every day that God will bring them something to release this financial stress or this financial pressure that they have. You can be the answer to people's prayers. But the only thing that's holding most people back is insecurity. It's being shy, caring too much about what other people think of you, and also not being open-minded. You know, there may be things that you've done and that have gotten you to a certain point, but I'm telling you, if you're not where you want to be, right, if you want things in life to change, you got to change things in your life, right? And this is a simple change or an addition that you can make, because if what you're doing is working, don't change it, right? But maybe this is an addition that you can make that you can now multiply your business in. Because here's the facts, guys, is that your business is limited based on the number of people who can present the business, okay? So if you have 70 people in your organization, but you're the only one who's a really good presenter, guess what? Your business is never going to grow outside of you, because unless you are there presenting, you are the one actually talking to everyone, no one's getting a good exposure, and therefore no one's going to enroll. And so what this does is it makes it so that you have a good presenter there all the time. Everyone can do this. Not everyone has the confidence to get on a call with 50 people and break this down. Not everybody has the confidence to get on a 3-way call with someone they've never met and be able to passionately explain, this business and overcome objections and all of this kind of stuff, right? But you know what everyone can do? Add someone to a Facebook page, tag them in a post, and message them the same questions over and over and over and over and over again. This works, okay? It works, and it's duplicatable. And then my favorite part about it is we just had someone, while we were playing basketball yesterday, we were hooping in there. Tyler, my brother-in-law, her brother, he added someone to the group 4 months ago. 4 months ago. And while we were hooping, he gets a DM being like, all right, I've seen these testimonials, and these lockdowns are coming, like, I'm ready to go with this thing. And just like, it's done. You know what I'm saying? Like, how many of us talk to someone and we just like never actually get the decision? Like, how many people have we spoken to or on our teams that they've exposed to this, and maybe they didn't say yes, they didn't say no, but because of they never were followed up with, they just never made a decision. So many people fall through the cracks. And with this, when you add them in the group does the follow-up for you. Obviously, it's better for you to message people and be someone that's consistently tagging. But even if you don't do that, there's kind of like a safeguard there that can help you continue to go out there and get that follow-up done. And this is one of my favorite parts, is that when your people quit, because guess what most people do in network marketing? They quit, okay? That's just the fact. Most people in network marketing quit. But if you get people in their first 30 days, to go and add 50 people to the group, 100 people to the group, even if that person quits, guess what? Their entire network is already in the group, all right? They're there. And even if your team quits, you can continue to tap through people's network even after they quit and even after they're not in the business. And that is powerful, okay? That is freaking powerful. I mean, I had a guy on my team I enrolled during our launch. He added like 50 people to the page. He quit. And then, someone like messaged in the group and was like, I'm ready to get started. I click on the person because I can see who added who to the group. All the admins can, Steve can, Elaine can, everybody. And so you click and see, and I saw it was a guy who quit. And so you know what I did? I called the dude. I'm like, hey, bro, I know you quit like 2 months ago, but your buddy's ready to get started. And even I can sign him up and get paid for it, or you can get reactive and you can get paid for this referral. What do you want to do? And he got reactive, and then he got paid for that referral. So now I reactivated him. You know what I'm saying? Like, this works. It actually works. And so it's very, very, very powerful. And so, guys, I hope this was of value to you guys. I hope that you guys use this and utilize it. I'm excited. I mean, guys, we get this thing to 100,000, members. It's just freaking nuts. Okay, what's gonna happen? So I'm so proud of this group. It's been an honor to be able to get to know Steve, Elaine, Katie, your guys' guys as leaders. These guys are people that I am inspired by. My wife and I are inspired by. Seriously, we came home just being like, wow, we have such an incredible group, an incredible leadership organization, and we're just honored and humbled to be a part of this thing. And so, Steve, I just want to say thank you so much for your leadership, man, your energy, your focus, your belief, your commitment, and your sacrifice in this group. It doesn't go unnoticed, man. You inspire us every single day, and everybody on this call, do not take his leadership and his sacrifice for granted. This man is absolutely incredible. And Elaine and Katie, that goes for you guys as well. So with that, thank you so much for having us. Steve, I'll give it back to you, bro.
Let's go, guys. If you got value from that, drop a 222 in the chat box right now. Wow, guys. I'm telling you, this organization's about to go to the next level.